See when it first started playing, when you guys started playing it, did you guys carry about the little statue you find at the start, thinking that it might be useful?
I did, the little woman statue, yes, and I still wonder, like, what the fuck is this for? And apparently I read somewhere that you can hug the gnomes.
You can?
Oh, I did.
And I cannot catch one to hug it. I tried, and I can't. I saved one.
You have to sneak up on it.
There was a spot in the level before the long arm guy or whatever where if you instead of take the path you're supposed to and you climb up on a bookshelf, you'll go in to a certain little secret area and you'll find a gnome's little hideout home in there. If you release him from a cage, he runs in there and then you can give him a hug.
I released him from the cage, but I didn't follow him.
Yeah, if you follow him, you can hug him.
I followed him a little bit, and I was like, hug me, but then I gave up.
Yeah, but they also scream.
They do. I just wanted to see if I could actually hug it.
And they alert the fucking creatures to your position too, so the little bastards. Here's a question for you guys. What's the worst nightmare you've ever had?
That's a good one. I had a weird one the other day where I got like pulled over by a cop in the middle of like this dark, stormy road with no other cars. And they arrested me and they put me in the back of their car. And then they went to search my car. And then on their way back from searching the car, they slipped on the water and their gun went off and killed them. So I was just sitting in the back of this police car, locked up, handcuffed, and there's nobody around. So I'm just sitting here waiting and nobody came.
Oh, I don't think that's a nightmare.
It was fucked up.
That was last Tuesday.
That's a super scary nightmare. I was going to say they found like pounds of weed in the trunk or something.
They might have.
I have dreams a lot where my teeth fall out, and not just like the teeth fall out, but like they're loose, and then I can feel them with my tongue, and then I reach in and I pull them out individually.
Oh, I've had that.
I have handfuls of teeth, and it's funny though because in a lot of them I know that it's a dream. I'm like, this has happened before, and I have teeth now, so it's gonna be fine. But then it's terrifying.
What about the dreams where you're naked?
I don't have those.
I don't have those.
Really? I'm the only one who gets them?
Yeah. That doesn't bother. I have no shame. That does not bother me at all.
That doesn't bug me either.
As long as I don't get arrested.
I have dreams a lot where I have to go to the bathroom and I can't find a bathroom that actually has a door. Or sometimes there's a bathroom that does have a door, but that's where the party is, and there's like 8 people in there, and I'm like, but I have to pee, and I don't want to pee in front of you guys because I don't even know you guys.
I typically have that dream too, but usually I go into the bathroom and all the stalls are out of order. It's the worst.
That's why you piss in the sink.
Big mistake.
I also have...
Back to the college years.
I've also had dreams where I have to take a shower, like I'm getting late for work and I have to take a shower, and for some fucking reason the shower is built in the middle of someone's living room, and like they're sitting there watching TV and I have to take a shower right there in front of them. I'm like, what?
I thought you were gonna say that you had to take a shit. Those are the worst kind of dreams.
In the shower, just scream at the top of your lungs. Just,
right. Or take a shit in the shower and stomp it down the drain.
Oh, I mean, everybody's done that before,
Singing
right?
the, what's that old movie where the girl is being stabbed in the shower?
Psycho?
Yeah. Singing the Psycho theme. As you're stomping your own shit down the shower.
Yeah. It's just the exact same movie, but he opens up to stab the girl, but he realizes she's squatting and shitting in the shower, and he just turns around and walks away. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, for some reason the Psycho theme in my brain is Sephiroth's theme. So all I can think of, Sephiroth.
So that's why Sephiroth killed Aerith. found her squatting in his shower taking a shit.
That's why he turned evil.
And that's why he hears Sephiroth.
Oh my god.
I remember this one nightmare I had when I was like 4 years old. And I was just like I was sleeping on the floor next to my parents who were sleeping on like a hideaway bed on a couch. And in my dream, I was in a clock tower and I'm watching like all of my favorite cartoon characters like standing on the cogs and getting slowly squished between the gears.
Oh no!
And then my dad got squished between the gears in the clock tower. And I remember waking up just screaming my eyes out.
Aw.
Man, that is like what is that? The Great Mouse Detective scenario is what that is.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up.
I used to have a recurring nightmare where I was going into my living room, but the living room was actually the cafeteria at the elementary school, and then there was this witch sitting in the middle of the cafeteria on a round table selling chocolate chip cookies, and she wanted to take her long ass fingernails and like cut you in the forehead and make you bleed for payment for the cookies. And I stole a cookie because I didn't want her to do that. And then I went back to my bedroom and my walls were covered in mirrors, and I fucking hate mirrors. Mirrors are creepy as shit. My walls were covered in mirrors, and then through each of these little tiny broken pieces of mirrors, I could see myself turning into a witch because I stole her cookie. I had that dream over and over again when I was a kid.
That's messed up.
Why does that remind me of a horror movie where they like kind of slit across the forehead and then...
I don't know what horror movie that would be.
I don't know. I got a horror movie in my dreams, then I guess.
Sounds familiar.
Logan, was your nightmare being naked? Was that yours?
No, but it was more like it was a recurring nightmare that like I still have to this day. It was just strange. Oh yeah, that fucking slit in the forehead thing was from Doctor Who, but I can't remember what episode it was from. But yeah, the recurring nightmare that I keep on having is like running through my hometown, but there's just like voices. It's weird. I still have it, and like new things get added if I go a different direction.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
The weirdest and the worst nightmare I've ever had was when it was a long time ago and I had a really bad fever and I also had horrible night terrors and it was a terrible time. The nightmare was my dad collected every single watermelon in the world and every single penny in the world and dumped them all over me, and they exponentially grew and destroyed the universe. So
What? Watermelons and pennies?
I have no idea what it was about.
He just screams at the fruit aisle in Walmart.
So, well, it got worse because they were night terrors. So I was essentially awake, but still dreaming and just like walking around, scared the hell out of my sister. I was screaming out in real life, like too fast, too fast. And my sister was just freaking out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the worst. Those are the worst nightmare I've ever had. This is why I don't do drugs, because I'm fucked up enough. I don't need some sort of existential push there.
I feel that.
Did Too Fast follow up with Too Furious?
Yeah, I know you were going to make that fucking joke.
I actually was thinking about that head slicing thing, and I remember it from the show Heroes.
That's what it was from.
Like the Siler, the bad guy, would like slowly cut your head off and take your brain and take your powers.
Like it was either Doctor Who, Heroes, or Torchwood. It was one of the three. Do you want me to tell you the disturbing fact that I came across? Eskimo mothers suck the snot from their babies' noses.
An elephant masturbates by repeatedly slapping his dick on his own stomach.
Salt water takes 10 minutes to drown you. 20% of coffee mugs contain fecal matter.
What?
Finally.
We breathe in a liter of farts every day.
Oh, I breathe in more than that.
Look, you got to stop using them as bong rips. It just doesn't work that way.
If you can smell it, it's inside your nose. 22 pounds of pressure will explode a testicle.
Jesus.
Aircraft toilets can suck out your rectum.
Oh, excuse me? Say that one more time?
Aircraft toilets can suck out your rectum.
That's good.
Koala bears can give you chlamydia.
How?
I don't know.
Speaking of nightmares, we played a game called Little Nightmares this week.
Chimpanzees fight wars like humans.
God damn it. Bonobos fuck like crazy.
Speaking of fucking like crazy, welcome to the Joysticks and Lunatics podcast, where I probably shouldn't say we fuck like crazy.
Well, you three do. I don't. Aladdin's face was modeled after Tom Cruise.
Aw.
I'm BanjomanDudeGuy.
I am OverpoweredPeaches. I get sex about once a week.
Kenny, this is where you introduce yourself.
I'm guinea pig poop.
And I'm the chubby nerd Logan. In the original fairy tale, Aladdin was Chinese.
But yes, as Peaches said, we played a game called Little Nightmares for this week's podcast. A puzzle platform horror adventure game set in a mysterious world following the journey of Six, a hungry little girl who escapes the Maw, an iron vessel inhabited by monstrous, twisted beings.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you know there's a pill called Father Christmas which makes your farts smell like chocolate?
I know that there's a pill that's filled with gold shavings that makes your shit gold.
Did you guys know that if you eat a ton of fruit, your sperm actually tastes good?
Is that coming from personal experience?
Yes, exactly. If you eat a bunch of pizza, your sperm tastes bad.
Oh no.
Well, watch out, ladies. My diet's nothing but pizza and pasta.
But
Oh, no.
what if you put pineapple on pizza?
Then it's gonna taste like sweet coffee grounds.
It's just gonna taste average.
Very gritty.
Okay, this was a game that was developed by Tarsier Studios, and this was published by Bandai Namco. Other games made by Tarsier Studios was Little Big Planet, Ragdoll Kung Fu Fist of Plastic. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Tearaway Unfolded, Static, and The Stretchers. The only one that I know there is Little Big Planet. That's it. I don't know any of those others.
Sam.
Tearaway Unfolded was a game I believe for like the DS, or maybe like the 3DS or DS.
I'd say 3DS.
I remember reading about it in like Game Informer at one point. I thought it looked pretty interesting.
No, it was actually for PS4.
It must have been before I got a PS4, otherwise I definitely would have played it. It looked pretty interesting on Game Informer.
So the platforms that it was on was PC, PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Google Stadia, which apparently in some way is like still going on, but I think they're being faded out.
It's dead. It's dead.
I thought it was dead.
Like it's dead, like it's not being bought anymore, but
No more games are being published for it. That's what I mean by dead.
okay.
Really?
So goodbye, Google Stadia.
I guess so, damn.
So, anyways, it was released on April 28th, 2017, for $20 for the standard edition and $30 for the complete edition. I'm rounding them out. $19.99 for the standard edition, $29.99 for the complete edition, and $5.99 for the scary horror.
Are you saying horror or whore?
Both.
Jesus.
So what was this? The DLCs, there were 7 DLCs ranging from
7?
99 cents.
I thought there was only 4.
Damn.
DLCs ranging from 99 cents to $9.99. And these were cosmetic additions to extra chapters, and you played from a different child's perspective, which I was the only one that got like the complete edition here, was I?
No, I got the complete edition.
I got complete edition as well.
That's strange because I got the complete edition on the Switch, and it gave me both Six, who is the main character that you play as, and then there's another character called the Kid, but apparently I was the only one that got that option for some reason.
The thing is, the Switch did add more to it as that was a recent release.
Okay.
Oh, I almost bought it for the Switch, but I decided not to since I already had it for Steam. It was currently on sale, though.
I had Nintendo points on the Switch, and so that brought it down to $1 for me.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Anyways, the reception for this game was 78% for a Metacritic and 8.1 user score. Was that for Steam? Or I guess Steam was very positive out of 93%. So it sounds like people really like this game.
Yeah.
Hi, you're actually right. There is a fuck ton of DLC, but you could just buy the Secrets of the Maw expansion pass, so you don't have to pay, like $12.
You basically get them all.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
and the original soundtrack with it.
This game is rated T for toddler. Because my 4-year-old was sitting next to me watching me play this game, and no joke, helped me out on a number of occasions,
Wow.
telling me where to go.
Nice.
Why are you even on this podcast anymore?
I don't
put
know.
Dylan on and just
I really
it's
should at this
inevitable. It's
point.
gonna happen.
There's no joke. Like when I'm facing like the long arm man or whatever, I'm running around not figuring out where to go next. And he's like, "Dad, there's a door right there." And I'm like, "God damn it, are you kidding me?" He's so good at it. He's telling me everywhere to go, like in the kitchen level. We beat the kitchen level because my son kept telling me what to do next.
I mean, he was raised by a gamer, so
Yeah.
This game would have been very, I would say, fun if it came out 10 years ago on the Wii.
That would have been pretty fun.
I'm just saying that because, motion controls and shit.
well, the Switch has motion controls on it too.
Speaking of which, there was an app I came across on the Nintendo eShop the other day, and it was for night vision, and I never understood why. And apparently you can see through the Bluetooth things at the bottom of your Joy-Cons.
Oh yeah, because your right Joy-Con has an infrared sensor on the bottom of it, so you can get the night vision thing, and you just wave your Joy-Con around and look at the screen, and you can see in night vision because
It looks worse than CCTV cameras.
Oh well, yeah, it's a Switch. Not to say anything bad about the Switch, I love it, but it's not a very powerful console.
Not to say anything bad about CCTV cameras.
They suck.
I have no idea how to say the name of this town. I'm just going to wing it. Tarsier Studios is an independent development studio in Malmo, Sweden, founded in 2004.
We will now be sued by every Swede.
They'd be like, that southern chick can't pronounce shit.
That's exactly how they sound.
Yeah.
This girl from Georgia can't pronounce our words worth shit. She
We're
called it
shit.
Malmo. I can't believe she called it Malmo.
And I think that the A has one of those little umlaut things on top of it, I think. So it's probably like mom. I don't know. What does umlaut even do? I don't know.
It's pronounced Malmo.
It's pronounced Soondere.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
God damn it.
I was waiting until he got a puff of that fucking
Thank
vape.
you. I swallowed half of it. Thank you for that.
Don't do that. Don't
It's
do
not
that.
fun.
He just
No.
farts out smoke.
Tarsier Studios is an independent development studio in Malmo, Sweden, founded in 2004. They employ about 70 people as of 2020. In 2010, they signed an agreement with Sony Interactive Entertainment and Microsoft Windows. In 2019, Embracer Group AB, formerly THQ Nordic AB, acquired the studio for $10.6 million. After the release of Little Nightmares 2, Tarsier Studios will no longer work under Bandai Namco, so the series might either end or might be handed off to another company. With Little Nightmares, the team wanted to explore the wild extremes of childhood, so the maw is where all the worst things in the world could be left to rot. The term stealth has been used to describe the gameplay, but the team prefers to use hide and seek, as the term stealth implies the empowered character and it is supposed to be childlike and powerless. In 2014, the game was originally announced under the title Hunger, but after acquiring Bandai Namco Entertainment as the publisher, the game was retitled as Little Nightmares to avoid any confusion with the Hunger Games. I also recently just read that it was heavily inspired by Ghibli Studios' Spirited Away and other of their things, like the imagery and the atmosphere and everything was heavily inspired by that.
That kind of explains the like figuration of things.
Mm-hmm.
Still doesn't explain why it's Tim Burton's wet dream.
Oh, I read that they are going to make a TV show of it, and I have it right here. The TV show is going to be
Netflix.
So just keep an eye out for Tim Burton's Wet Dream coming to Netflix this summer.
It's going to be produced by the guys that did a lot of the Tim Burton stuff, like Nightmare Before Christmas and
Tim Burton.
Yeah, and well, not Tim Burton. Let's see. It says Anthony and Joe Russo, the filmmaking duo behind Captain America, are teaming with the Nightmare Before Christmas director Henry Selick. And he did Monkey Bone, Coraline, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and James and the Giant Peach. Oh, I hope that would be perfect with that imagery.
Wonder if they're gonna make the characters look fucking disgusting like they did in this game.
Yes, I hope
Probably.
so. That would be awesome. Yeah,
I really hope so
I'm thinking
too.
like the terrifying way that things in James and the Giant Peach looked for the kitchen guy.
The chef was disgusting.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I'm pretty sure that was the first ever like character we seen in the trailer for Little Nightmares.
Dude, I couldn't beat the kitchen level because I couldn't do it with one hand, man.
Oh no.
All that heavy breathing, dude. It got me going like crazy.
There's a lot of sexual tension in that
yeah.
kitchen. That's
Oh,
for sure.
holy shit.
Yeah, especially when he gets the salt and salts the fish and just like.
Oh yeah, he's just like he's getting his fingers in there. He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
get it, man.
Like, give it a
It's
little
fucking sausage fingers. Give me some of those.
You've been a bad
Oh no. I'll get you wet. Jesus Christ.
This is the fish's mouth.
Oh. You did say it was like Tim Burton's Wet Dream, Logan.
But I don't think Tim Burton wants to have sex with a fish.
Maybe he already has.
Maybe it was the cook, not the fish.
Hey,
Maybe
we
it was.
don't call Helen Carter a fish.
Look, no. There was a lot of love put into that cook. Is what that
Yeah.
was.
You call that love?
His backside. So I guess let's move a little bit into the story. It's a very quick thing to cover because there's not a whole lot to kind of go on at the beginning, and we'll just quickly wrap up a quick summary of the beginning of the game because, of course, we're not going to go into any spoilers at the end of the game. The player plays as the protagonist, known as Six, who is a 9-year-old girl in a yellow raincoat. You traverse through the bowels of the Maw. It's an iron vessel inhabited by large, warped, horrendous beings that can only assume to be once fully human. So you kind of wake up in the bowels of this kind of ship, and you're ultimately trying to escape. And there's a lot of, like they mentioned, hide and seek aspects of the game as you're kind of moving from parts of the ship as you attempt to escape the horrible creatures on board. You don't actually see any of the creatures at the very beginning of at the beginning. You're kind of faced with leeches as like the main thing that you have to avoid. But the creatures in here, except for the chef, are pretty gross looking.
And the guy who committed suicide.
Oh yeah, there's
At
that.
the very beginning.
Yeah, at the very beginning, you just see legs dangling and you have to take the chair to get somewhere. Yeah, that's just a quick, brief introduction to the story of this game. Of course, more can be found out as you progress through the game. There's no dialogue to the game. There's nothing written or anything that kind of tells you more about the story. You just kind of figure out the story as you progress through the game, just through visual aspects and everything like that. So
It's just mostly grunting like porn.
yeah, there's a lot of grunting and moaning for sure.
But yeah, if you're wondering like what happened to all the adults, it explains more in Little Nightmares 2, like there was some sort of broadcast that hypnotized them. That's all I'll say.
That makes sense because there's that one level where you have to turn on the TV to distract Long-Armed McGee, and he comes in, and I was actually wondering, I was like, is he in a trance because of that TV? Because I thought he was going to go turn it off, but he goes and sits in front of it.
Unless you're me, and the first time you turn on the TV, the instant he runs in the door, you run out, and he chases you.
I mean, it took me several tries to get that one.
So the thing with this game is the fact that in many ways it's a horror game, and the best thing about horror is that they don't give you all the information. You sort of kind of have to figure it out yourself. So there's a lot of this game that you really don't understand, that we don't understand about its story, that you kind of learn as you go throughout the game. So it's just one of the best aspects of it as a horror game in general.
It doesn't even tell you the button controls, if I remember correctly.
Only when you're a part of a puzzle where you can't get it for, like maybe a minute, and then it flashes a hint down on the bottom of the screen, and then, you kind of figure it out as you go.
Guinea, if you press A, you can throw what you have in your hand. That's what it was telling me.
I was trying to tell you if you hold that damn button down, you'd be fine. You're just like, it's not working. It's not working.
I was having that problem.
I didn't know that if you press it down. I didn't know that if you press it down, it'll throw it farther. I was just like, how the fuck am I supposed to get this monkey on that button?
I've been asking that question for like 30 years of my life at this point.
I had no idea that was a thing. I just kept tossing it until eventually it hit the button. I didn't know that you had to hold the button down to make it throw further.
How long were you there throwing it?
I have no idea.
I would still probably be throwing that monkey if it weren't for Peaches giving it away.
Yeah.
I was kind of watching it just like, do you want a hint? And she's like, yes. And then they're like, okay, you got to hold that button down to throw the monkey further. And she finally figures it out.
If you guys think that's bad, just wait until we play the second one. There's a teacher with a really long neck that chases you. Not the body of the teacher, the neck chases you through a vent.
Thank God. This is not a nightmare. This is a wet dream.
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? This is fantastic.
Okay, you giraffe fucker.
The longer the neck, the further it can go. That's what I'm saying. Nothing wrong with that. It's not like that big of a deal. I barely make it past the teeth, but still,
Come on.
The thought.
Maybe it's for Long-Armed McGee. Maybe it's not the only two long arms that he has, and he needs that really long neck.
For that really long penis that's like 3 chapters behind.
He has to roll it up just to pull his pants up.
That's the irony of the situation. He has no idea how to use his arms. He uses his mouth the best.
It's like a hubba bubba. Peaches is defeated.
Yeah, he is 100%. He's over it.
Break him. He's just defeated.
Just over it.
That's just I just got all of a sudden a major headache from that. I don't know why. Just something about that ruined my head.
What, the hubba bubba penis?
I just please move on.
That gets the facepalm side.
It's more like a party blower. It just automatically recoils and then blow on it and it shoots out.
Why is this what you pursue? You're like, I got to get that facepalm sigh. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what I need in my life. It completes my weekend.
Well, to be honest, it isn't an episode unless you do, like, a sigh and a facepalm.
Yeah, let's just do his deep sigh because you're over it.
Exactly.
So, Logan, you want to talk about the gameplay?
Sure. The Little Nightmares is a 2.5D world. That fucked my brain.
It's a D world.
D world. You get 2.5 dicks.
It's double and a half D.
Make a Klingon. The player traverses throughout a world filled with platforms and obstacles that block you from proceeding. It feels like as I was saying before, Tim Burton's wet dream with the disappropriation of the human body, which I found very disgusting. You're generally useless when it comes to enemies, as there's no combat system, so you're going to have to use your wits, your brain and basically your surrounding areas to your advantage. As I said before, it's very hide and seek, but there are some cases where you can quotation kill your enemy. Like, a spoiler for the second game, basically you're running away from, like, I'd say this farmer, and basically he tries to get through the door, he throws his gun through by accident, and you just like shotgun him to the face.
I dig that.
That's the only death I can think of in Little Nightmare 2 for now, but Little Nightmare 1 was, I'd say, was more timid in its kind of horror experience. I will say, like, I was still creeped the fuck out.
Dude, I was more creeped out about this game than my son was. He just kept saying it's. I was like freaking out, running away from Long Arm McGee, and he's just like, "Dad, it's not scary. It's not scary. It's not scary." I was like, "Shut up."
Yeah, but think about it, when you're that age, you have no sense of fear.
Oh, I know.
When your son has bigger balls than you do. Sorry, that was a low blow.
It's true in this respect. I'll play horror games all the time, and he's just perfectly chill. Unless it's Five Nights at Freddy's, then he panics every time. But he loves it.
Like, think about it. Think about the old Thomas the Tank Engine cartoons that we probably watched as a kid or toddler. We didn't think they were creepy at the time, but they're creepy now.
They are pretty creepy now.
Like, I can remember one episode that actually gave me nightmares as a kid, and it was like a boulder with a face that just warped. It's fucking terrifying. Why do people do these things for kids programs, and then like adults are just like, what the fuck?
Dude, I know.
Now I know how our parents felt when like they watched Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, but I still like Ren and Stimpy.
It's good.
Yeah, that's because we grew up with it. But think about an adult mindset for like Ed, and Eddie, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, a lot of this gameplay reminds me of games like Limbo, if you guys remember that
Yeah.
game.
Oh, yeah, I love Limbo.
And also Inside as well.
Yeah, Limbo, Inside, and Little Nightmares was actually on an entire package together on Steam last week.
Really?
Yeah.
I never played Inside, but Inside is made by the same people who made Limbo, right?
Yeah. It's very dark.
It's very dark.
Oh yeah. Have you seen the ending to it?
Mm-hmm.
Of Limbo?
Of Inside.
Oh, I've seen the ending of it. I haven't played it, but I've watched it.
Yeah, I think
It's crazy.
There's multiple endings to Inside, but the darker ending is for Limbo, I'd say.
Oh yeah, Limbo is pretty messed up. So to talk a little bit more about the gameplay of this game,
of the actual game that we're supposed to be talking about.
Like Logan had mentioned, it's like a 2.5D world, so it is like a side scroller, but there is depth to it, so you can go up and down, but it's limited to the size of the room that you're in. And they're, like we had mentioned before, it's hide and seek, essentially, because you can't really kill anything unless you get to a point where the environment requires you to kind of kill whatever your pursuer is. So you have a button for grabbing onto items, you have a button to crouch, you have a button to run and jump, and you can pick up items and throw them. Apparently further distance the longer you hold the button, which I didn't know. And there's also an interesting thing because you have a button that shows your lighter so that you can see better in the darker areas. But as you progress through the game, you'll find lanterns and you'll find candles on the ground, and you can light those with your lighter to create almost like a
checkpoint.
A checkpoint. That it's not a checkpoint for when you save the game. It's only if any scenario you die, you get put back to that area. Otherwise, you have to start this whole section all over again. So you definitely got to keep an eye out for anything that you can light with your lighter. That's essentially how the game plays. You're moving from room to room, avoiding pursuers, solving little puzzles, trying to find things that you can climb, or levers that you can activate, or doors you can open by throwing objects at them. The whole game area it's obvious that it's made for larger creatures, which is more obvious with the pursuers that you find in the game. such as the chefs or Long Arm McGee. And you are this incredibly tiny individual. So you have to climb bookshelves and drawers and stuff. Buttons to open doors are a lot higher than you can get to. So you have to either bring pieces of the environment, such as chairs, over to the area, or you have to find something that you can pick up and throw to activate the buttons to move around. So there's a lot of puzzle aspects to it to continue moving, but there's also a lot of stealth elements to avoid being detected. And that's essentially how the game plays throughout the whole thing.
What people always forget about this game is that, as you said, Banjo, you are completely fucking minuscule compared to like anything in this game. You're just like a third of the size taller than a fucking gnome.
Oh yeah. And gnomes are like little creatures with these little triangle hats that run around in the area, and they're almost akin to vermin on the ship that you are, because sometimes you'll see rats running around, but every now and then you'll move something and then gnomes will run out and go hide into ducks and stuff. So they're kind of this element of this game.
They have social anxiety.
Yeah. they're just always running around trying to avoid detection. And sometimes they make noises, or their skittering can distract the people that are pursuing you. So you can use that as an opportune moment to move on to the next area or to grab a key and open up a door. You can't really interact with them a whole lot. You can find different moments where they're chill and they don't run away from you, and you can kind of give them a hug. But other than that, they're just these little creatures that just run around and do their own thing.
Life would be so much easier if you could just set things on fire in this game.
Oh, I know. Just burn the whole thing down.
I did attempt a couple of times. I saw a cobweb and I was like, can I put this on fire?
So, do we got anything else?
Yeah, I was going to ask who wants to go into their experience and how far they got.
I was going to say, Banjo, tell us about your experience with this game.
Okay, well, as I'd already mentioned, I was playing it with my 4-year-old son, and he was a hell of a lot more competent at it than I was, and I was only able to get as far in the game with his assistance because I'm not very good at puzzles and stuff and using my eyes very well. But I got fairly far in the game. I had a hell of a time with Long Arm McGee. Like, I was getting so frustrated, like almost to a point where I wanted to break my controller frustrated because no matter what I did, I couldn't stay away from him. And his arms are so fucking long. Like, you get to a part where you have to climb up this almost like this bookshelf, and you get to the top of it and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm clearly out of his reach. No, his arm clips through the fucking bookshelf and grabs you. And it's so infuriating, but it was satisfying towards the end of that. And I know it's still kind of fairly early on in the game, but he's kind of like your, I guess you could say, boss fight. And you have to fight him like his arms are under a door, and you have to try to find a way to get away from his arms. And here I am spending forever at that part trying to jump back and forth with his arms before I realized that you had to try to take care of him in this situation before you can go any further. But the kitchen part afterwards, where you have to avoid detection of the chefs, was far easier thanks to my son, who was pointing out everything. Even got to a point where I find a locked door and you have to go and find a key, and I'm looking everywhere for the damn thing, and he's like, Dad, it's right there. And he just points it out. It's like, okay, well, thank you for the help. So I was actually able to beat the kitchen part. I got to the end of the kitchen part, got the achievement on Steam for the kitchen, and that's when I called it quits on the game, because that was like right before we started this podcast. So I feel significantly, yeah, oh yeah, dude, very frustrated and sexually aroused because of those chefs. But it's a pretty fun game. I did like it. I got really frustrated. It's been a long time since I've gotten this angry at a video game for sure. But it was satisfying when you got to the next area and when you figured out what the puzzle was and everything, and you were able to traverse through an area, especially when you got to a point where you're not being pursued by something and you can take some time to actually think about what you're doing and how to proceed and find the right, elements to the puzzle to get to the next room. It felt good. And like there's one room in the kitchen where there's a giant meat grinder in there. And there's a lot of aspects to that. You're not being chased by the chef or anything. You have time to sit there and wonder. But I was able to figure out that puzzle pretty quickly. And it was still very satisfying to me to be able to complete that. The game does because it's so challenging and frustrating at times, you feel fairly elated when you're able to clear a certain area. And just because of that, I definitely want to keep playing this game. I'm not, I heard that it's a fairly short game and I have no idea how far I am right now, but I want to see the conclusion because it's so weird.
I will tell you, you're halfway through the game right now.
Oh, am I? Okay, perfect. Then yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep playing this one, mainly because my son finds the game very entertaining and wants to keep watching me play it. So I'd give the game, oh gosh, out of 10, I'd probably say 7.5 out of 10. Only because there are times where you feel cheated. Like I had mentioned with the long arm guy. You look at his arms, you think that they have a certain distance, but they almost stretch, for his uh in order to stop you from getting into certain areas. And there's points where you distract him and you sneak around and he detects you like immediately, and it feels almost like I'm doing everything right, but why am I still getting royally like destroyed at this area of the game? No matter what I do, it just seems like you can't win. And even when you're trying to use your wits to it. And ultimately, like I said, I did get past those parts. I made it to however far I made it into the game because I was able to clear those areas. But there's times where I was so close and I was doing everything right, yet I still failed. So there you expect to be frustrated at this game for sure.
Logan,
Yeah.
what did you think of this game?
Well, I will say
it sucks.
No. I actually enjoyed it. I only played it for a little bit on stream at first because it started off like a fucking bad omen. As soon as I started streaming the game, Twitch fucked up majorly, where my stream just stopped working. So I just took it as a bad omen and be like, okay, I'm not going to play this on a PC. And then I realized I had it on my PS4 library because it was like a free PS4 game way back when. So played it on PS4, got to, I'd say, the end of the second chapter. Yeah, so I'd say just before the kitchen. I'm pretty sure I killed Long Arm McGee. I called him the booty tickler.
He could give one damn good reach around.
He could reach around several
That's for sure.
times.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Be like a nice warm hug.
A nice warm hug with a tug.
He could like fold his arm around your dick and then just give it a grip reach.
Just constrict it like a snake.
That's what he does. He puts his arms like in front of him and then he wraps his arms around the other way. And then it's like it's somebody brand new that's like tugging at his weenie.
Yeah.
So
he does that thing where you like turn your back and you act like you're kissing yourself, but his arms go so much further.
He could probably keep himself warm when it gets cold.
He can pull his own hair, which you got to respect him for that.
But yeah, I wasn't more interested in this game for the gameplay or the story. I think it was more the ambience that got me. This game was totally fucking terrifying if you just, listened to it and just stared at the background and the concept art for it. I will admit I only played like a few hours of this game, but I just loved every little bit detail of the gruesome, how fucking disturbing and gross everyone looked. It kind of screams, old style propaganda, like how they would do in like the 50s and 60s, being like a Russian could be your next door neighbor, shit like that. It kind of seems like that, what people would be like glued to their TV screens, believing everything, and like if something was, altered in a different way, they'd just like wanting to destroy it.
Yeah.
Peaches?
So when I first started this game, I was thinking like, oh God, it's one of these I had played Limbo and Inside, and these games frustrate the hell out of me. Even though I actually find them really fun, I'm pretty good with puzzle games. Like, I enjoy them a lot, but I don't know, just something about these games in a weird way feels more like a chore than it does like sort of engaging gameplay. But honestly, with something like Little Nightmares, everything about it worked so perfectly. Like its music, its atmosphere, its story. Just I don't know. For somebody that doesn't really care for games like these, it kind of spoke to me in a weird way. I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that Six occasionally ate rats. I don't know. Could be something along those lines.
Very
So
relatable.
honestly, I think it's a really good game for what it is. It may not be so much my style, but I mean, yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I think I got up to the level before the kitchen, and I had stopped playing at that point because I was doing homework. That was basically my experience.
So it wasn't the rat eating that got you?
No, that was cool. That was really neat where she was like holding their stomach and like nearly about to die, and she's like, "Oh, I've got to eat a rat to survive." Like that felt like it was, I don't know, there's a lot of emotion there. It felt like it just worked. She had to do what she had to do. So I mean,
Was that at your point in the game where she actually like killed the rat in the rat trap?
that was there was another point in the game where she walks up to a cage with a dead rat in it.
Oh yeah, that's where you get caught by Long Arm Man.
Yep. Yep.
There's a part, yeah, like in the kitchen where a rat runs past you and you hear it get caught in a trap and you go over and it's still alive in the trap and she just kills the rat and eats it.
That's badass.
It's pretty crazy.
I remember
Yeah.
that. I was like, no, Six.
Step aside, Clementine. We got a new badass in town.
Yeah.
And then what pissed me off after that, you go into the kitchen and there's a whole bunch of vegetables right there. She could have just waited for 2 seconds and ate a fucking carrot.
This doesn't look like a rat.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she just eats rats. You don't know.
Yeah, it could be her main diet staple.
That's
We
her
don't even know what
life.
she looks like. That could, yeah. She might not even be human. She might be Klingon. They eat weird shit.
So speaking of Klingons, Skinny, how was your experience with this game?
Wait, you didn't give a rating. What's your rating?
I'd say a 9 out of 10.
Okay, cool. I really enjoyed the game. I like puzzle games too. It was really frustrating. I pretty much agree with everything you said. To Banjo, it was frustrating, but then also satisfying whenever you finally, after you died 7 times in a row trying to do something, and then you finally do it. It's incredibly satisfying. And then I enjoyed how at the beginning of the game it was pretty easy. And then as you get further and further along the game, it gets harder and harder. It gets more intense. You're actually being chased by things or have the potential to alert them to be chased by things. And then it gets to a certain point to where every time you enter a new area, you just kind of like stop and wait. Like, is there something that's going to come out at me? Let me assess the situation. Do I get to breathe and figure this puzzle out by myself? Or do I have to try to figure out how not to alert the chef or how not to alert Long Arm Mickey or whatever? And I really liked the increasing, I guess, desperation of it as you went. And one thing that really stood out to me, though, the combination of how creepy the game is, but then also how cute the game is. I think that Six is the cutest little thing. The way that her character like stands, the way she holds herself, the way she moves, the way she pulls herself up, and my favorite thing when she's running, her little bare feet on the pavement. I just thought it was so cute, and I'm like, that paired with how creepy everything else is, just I thought that was a really cool, it was something that stood out to me. Just a really cool mix of different feelings and emotions, and I think that's it. I got
What the little kid singing was the creepiest fucking thing. When you're about ready to like starve and you got to eat something, like la 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 la. It makes me never want to have kids.
I already don't.
Because I know that they're going to be doing that at 3 a.m. at my door.
You're going to be starving and then they're going to start singing.
Daddy, are you awake? La, 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 la. We want pancakes. Okay, go on.
I think that's it. If I had to rate it, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. I'm definitely going to finish the game. That's for sure. I don't know how replayable it is after that. I mean,
with the DLC, I'd say not very, but once you get Little Nightmares 2, you'd want to go back and play 1.
Okay.
There is a theory about every time you die, it's another 6 you play as.
That makes sense.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. That's too much existential for me.
What? Because it makes you think?
Yes, exactly. I don't want to think.
I don't want to think. I want to play video games.
That's why I play video
Exactly.
games, to not think.
This is what I do with my weekend. You think I want to like sit here and think about stuff? No.
Yes, you play Phasmophobia and fucking GTFO.
Look, man, weekends are the only times that I get to myself where I can really get, in touch with myself.
But it's the only time I get to touch myself.
Don't mock me.
Kermit the Frog here. I helped Jeremy touch himself.
It's true.
He shoves his fist in my gaping anus.
He's so tight you don't even need a fleshlight in there.
Oh my god.
So who wants to play genital jousting? Please?
I actually think I might have that.
Damn it.
I feel like I had genital jousting at one point.
Don't forget, we still have Alan Sharp at the end of the month.
Yeah. Is that on Steam?
There is that.
So we all huddle up and watch Banjo play throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty much what me and Logan did with you.
That was fun, wasn't it? I love
really
that.
was.
I still
great.
won't. I won't forget your reaction. Ah, it's a scary black man.
How is Alan Sharp similar to GTFO? That is so
I don't
weird.
know.
I guess because it's horror.
How am I so sweaty? It's like a gajillion degrees in this room.
Dude, it's really warm in my room too. The problem is it's connected directly to the furnace. So when the heat's on, and we had the heat on last night, the heat's not on anymore, but it baked this room. So now the room is like really warm.
Super baked, bro.
I think
The
for
room
me
is
it's
like,
hot
man, I can
outside.
taste the universe over here.
Yeah, bruh.
I've been there.
So, when are we going to have a time to play GTFO together?
Oh, I'll find time. I mean, as far as things are going at work right now, we'll have plenty of time. We can always do it whatever evening when you and Guinea get home from work. We can hop on for like an hour or two and I can play with you guys before I have to go to bed.
It takes an hour just to get past a level. That's if we're successful.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of
long game.
exploring. It's a lot of exploring. It's a lot of planning.
And a lot of backtracking when you're
communication.
looking for items.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I also have this next weekend I don't have any plans. Nobody's going anywhere or doing anything, so I'll have all Friday afternoon and all of Saturday to play as well before
I
we
was
do
going to
this.
say, so maybe Saturday and then checking it out on Sunday.
Yeah. I'd be
I'd
good with that.
say give it a shot on your own as well when you get an opportunity.
Okay.
So you can get a pretty good understanding of what you're looking at.
Okay.
So good
Yeah,
luck.
definitely.
Stream it so I can watch and laugh. Because I regularly try to play on my own and it's ridiculously hard.
I
Yeah.
still haven't
Just
played
like
it
me.
on my own yet.
Oh, Jesus.
Was that you or a creaky door?
Yes.
I am a creaky door.
God damn. Show me what that mouth do.
Imagine if that's how people moaned during sex.
I'm sure at least one person does.
Then the AMC logo comes up. Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh no!
All right, so I guess let's since I like how we were all chatty and stuff, and as soon as we ended intermission, we all just fucked off and started doing our own
Well,
thing.
we can use some of that. I mean,
That is true. There is some stuff in there that we can use.
I'm just laughing at like what possible segue we could have. Like, speaking of GTFO, we're gonna get the fuck out of here
and talk about the game.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you guys haven't played Little Nightmares with mods yet.
I haven't done anything with mods like ever because I haven't. I know that you can certain things like you can download mods through Steam, can't you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like some
In the
games allow
workshop.
that.
Mhm.
Like
So
in
I
Little
don't know how to do
Nightmares
that.
in Little Nightmares 2, you can get a mod that changes 6 and 1 to Woody and Buzz.
Dude, that would be awesome.
It's like whenever we play Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Reach for the sky. That's how we know. That's how we know the hunter spawns.
This is a perfect segue because Left 4 Dead is very similar to the game that we're playing on next week's podcast. I think.
It's a game that's definitely great with friends.
If those friends are stupid, don't play with them.
Well, you guys still play with me, so
You get lost. That's different.
And next week's game is GTFO.
Otherwise known as Gooch Titties.
Frenulum.
Frenulum.
Farts and ovaries.
Or what I call grannies twerking for otters.
Or get the fuck out.
GTFO is a hardcore 4-player cooperative first-person shooter with a focus on team play and atmosphere. I'm reading its description here on Steam. It features edge-of-your-seat suspense, team-based puzzle solving, and high-intensity combat.
High intensity is like kind of going over the edge.
They're really trying to sell it there. It features edge-of-your-seat suspense.
I mean, yeah, when you're walking around and you're trying to stealth kill these monsters and then all of a sudden they just start pulsing on you, it's not a fun time.
Yeah,
No.
or what we normally do is open a door, see that there's a fuck ton of them, close it, and go the opposite direction.
Game price pays for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. So this game was released in December of 2019, and it was developed by 10 Chambers. They have quite a vast amount of knowledge here, and by that I mean like 6 bullet points on Steam. So
That's more bullets than you fucking get in the game.
That's true.
Now, I've never played this game before. I know that it's like a team building exercise.
Team building my arse.
You need like a pretty decent team, and you're solving puzzles and killing things, and you have to use your bullets sparingly. But I've never given it a shot. I've actually never even watched the trailer. I've never watched gameplay videos. I have no idea what I am in for this game. But you guys seem to find it rather interesting, so I'm actually pretty excited to play this game with you guys.
It's definitely a super fun game that all of the three of us have played so far. And I mean, it really does boast itself on teamwork more than anything else. I don't know about you, Logan, but I've tried to play the first level.
Yeah,
many
I tried
times
it
on my
solo.
own.
I tried it solo. They just keep on busting through the door.
It is so incredibly difficult that you almost can't do it alone. The only reason why you play it alone is to understand the mechanics better. But I mean, other than that, yeah. So it's really more of a stealth game where you have to use stealth elements more than you do shooting elements in order to survive. Because as soon as you're out of bullets, that's it. You're fucked.
Yeah, you're gonna
Really?
have to rely
You
on your
cannot-
like melee weapon.
You cannot survive on your melee weapon alone when you're doing. There are specific areas in the game where you have to rely on your weapons and your special weapons. You can't rely on your hammer or else you're going to die. because there are just too many enemies.
And I don't even think you can use your hammer to kill the big ones.
Nah, me and Pete just tried that.
Yeah.
Yep. We just put a giant hole in his chest. We didn't do much else to him.
No.
And he kept coming at us. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we hit him in sync as well.
Could you like do like a team thing with 4 people where 2 people are using melee weapons while the other 2 people are supporting them with bullets, and then you switch back and forth to save bullets?
That might be a bad idea because there is friendly fire. So
Yeah.
you cannot kill each other with hammers, but you can hurt each other with bullets. So it's a better idea that all 4 players are using melee weapons. And then when you absolutely have to, because there are moments when you absolutely have to use your weapon, your like guns. And that's when you take out your guns and you just start firing away.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm gonna die. I have a bad habit of running in front of other people's
We'll
bullets.
have you kill the first enemy that we encounter, and we'll have you experience kind of what that's like.
Oh, don't worry. That's within like 5 footsteps of when you land.
And me and Guinea have gotten pretty good on taking out multiple enemies and more of the melee stealth element of it. So,
And then there's me who just comes around the corner like, hello.
Hello. I'm like, don't alert everybody, and I'm just like instantly alert every single enemy. I'm like, fuck. There's a lot to talk about with this game, and I, for one, am very, very excited.
Same. I want to try get past that dark
I'm gonna
level.
tear this fucking game to pieces.
I'm gonna try my best for sure.
Since we've all basically played it, I think at this point, just like Phasmophobia, I mean, it's just down to one prediction here. So, Banjo, what would you say your game prediction for this is going to be?
I've heard quite a bit about this game in the past. I've actually had some friends trying to get me to play it, and I never got around to it. So I just got the game, and just watching the little videos that they have on the Steam page and everything, hearing what you guys have to say about the game, I'm pretty excited about it. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun setting aside some time to play this. I might get frustrated. You might hear me scream a few times, but I'm really looking forward to this one. I actually have some pretty high hopes for it.
Are you any good at shooter games?
Am I good at shooting games? I'm pretty decent at it, so long as I'm using a controller, not a keyboard and mouse. I can't.
It's easier
handle this many
with
buttons.
keyboard and mouse. Trust me.
No, there's no way. My brain will not comprehend that many keys on the keyboard. It just doesn't work.
Aim for the head.
I can do that. Well, in theory.
Sometimes you might have. Sometimes you might have to aim for the body.
I'm getting conflicted.
No. This is fine. This is fine. Leave it here. Don't tell him anything else. Don't tell him anything else. He'll figure this out whenever he plays the game.
Yeah, but what if we play with fucking in-game chat on and he freaks the fuck out in front of us?
We probably shouldn't play with in-game voice on, because that is a bad idea.
Oh, does it like alert them to your position and shit?
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Will. Yeah.
And there's at least like 20, 30 in one area.
So do we have a Scottish insult of the week?
No.
Why do you sound so exasperated?
I couldn't think there because my leg pops.
Oh no.
My voice has been disconnected because you connected to another location?
Uh-oh.
What the fuck does that mean? Who's booting me? Did somebody kick me?
No, nobody kicked you.
I was going to say. You motherfuckers.
Is someone messing with your VPN?
No,
your
it's not
FBI
even on.
agent.
It's my FBI agent.
You have a southern insult?
I have a southern insult.
Ooh.
Is it like one of the ones that is a riddle again? But like totally
It's a riddle.
No,
You must answer me. These riddles 3.
All right.
What is your favorite color?
Blue. No, yellow.
This one is it's not their fault. They weren't raised right.
Again, thinly veiled.
Thinly veiled.
Very thinly veiled.
Anything. If you just don't, it's like God bless him. if you just don't like someone or think there's weird, you can just be like, it's not their fault they weren't raised right.
Yeah, it's their parents' fault.
Mm-hmm. It's not their fault they weren't raised right. Bless their heart.
Bless their heart. At least they can spell hippopotamus.
It don't matter if it was 40 years ago. That's something right there.
Who's still living off their spelling bee fame like 40 years ago?
Look, Brenda has got to have something to hold on to in life.
Yeah, because clearly she can't hold on to a husband or children.
What the hell was
I
that?
know.
They're breaking through the door, Banjo, run!
What the fuck?
That's
You
what I
heard the same
heard.
thing I did. That was terrifying. Well, I think that'll about do it for this podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. If you made it this far, you're a good boy or girl or whatever you decide to identify as.
Thank you for being inclusive.
You're welcome. You can find links to all of our social media at www.joysticksandlunatics.com. You'll find everybody on there, including our newest member, Guinea Pig Poop. You can follow us directly on Twitter at JoystickLoons, LOONS. And you can follow all of our individual Twitters if you wish. Mine's at BanjomanDudeGuy.
Mine is at TheChubbyNerd1.
Peaches, I don't even know yours.
You have to look it up. No, mine is at OverpoweredPeach.
I don't have to do mine. Ganesh, you.
I was waiting
Dead
on you. You
fucking
really
silence.
did have to do it, though.
Just
Okay.
hop in. Don't even ask. Just hop in,
I wasn't
take
asking.
over, and take the podcast in a completely different direction so that we can be here for another hour.
Well, that's my strong suit. Mine is at Guinea Pig Poop, PEEG.
Again, thank you all so much. You listening to us, taking the time out of your day, taking the time out of your life, your precious, precious little time to listen to us be silly and talk about games for a while. We appreciate you. We appreciate your life. We appreciate everything.
This isn't the end of Sesame Street.
Can you tell me how to get to the end of the podcast?
Can you tell me how to get an erection?
Yes. That's it. We're done. We're done with this.
Yeah, find
All right,
out
thank
next.
you all so much for listening. Oh my God, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Find out next week if I need my leg amputated.
Bye.
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 Bonjour.